Aquarius, yo. Majestic Scorpios, dressed in Giorgio for memorial. Catch us in them cartoons in Cancun. Off we go, let the trumpets blow. When my comfort zone got uncomfortable, I hit the road for like a month or so, spitting flows of unwritten codes, hitting hoes and bungalows, flipping those of medicinal interlude with chickens who think sniffing glue is mystical. The unwritten rules has been infused.
Peace, King. What it do?
Doing good, my
First and foremost, congratulations on everything that you did today. It's very important for us to big each other up and to celebrate when we make milestones in our career and in our journey. But building on the whole thing about our sisters, I just want to bring up this research that I came across when I was putting this lecture together that we got coming up called the Fear of a Black Messiah, and it deals with our women. Now, I'm gonna just take a quick toll from my brothers so you know we all get it. In a game of life or the game of chess, which they say mimics the game of life, what is your most coveted piece that you are to protect at all costs?
Queen. The queen.
Okay, beautiful. And in warfare, or the science of warfare, at the end of the war, what is the prize of war? Other than the treasury, other than, you know, being whatever they may be after a castle or they may be after land. But at the end of the war, what is the prize of war?
The women.
They call it the booty. They even have a term for it. They call it booty. So if we as black men are able to sit back and say to ourselves, we're in the theater of war right now. We are now in the theater of soft war, meaning that there's a quiet war with silent weapons taking place, I would say, ever since we got here. And it's been ramped up recently, and this soft war has turned into what is known as an overt war, like a purge. People are beginning to identify with the concept of a purge. People are identifying with the fact that a chemical war took place with biological weapons where they're bending the gender. And some of our men are being born with chromosome imbalance or biological imbalances where they're not identifying themselves as men. Warfare. The sisters are being born not identifying themselves as women. Warfare. They're being born not even want to procreate. The economic warfare, which is identified as regentrification, is only visiting melanated black neighborhoods. And a result of that economic warfare is the fact that our people are being pushed out. Many people are being dying from stress. Stress is related to economic disparities. So when you go into your neighborhoods and you begin to see the women of your race with all kind of other men, that will be known as a casualty of war. So I just wanted to say, it is very important for black men, it is very imperative for black men at the end of the day to really assess the condition of both themselves and their women while in warfare. And instead of looking at it and pointing fingers and trying to shame them and beat them down for acquiescing to the fact that your men may have been conquered, we have to now as a brotherhood come together and fortify our position and fortify our foundation and get our women back. Whatever has taken place, and I didn't even bring in hip hop, which also was a very detrimental tool in breaking up the bond that black men and black women have amongst each other. But I also want to include the hand that had to play in breaking us up. That's the Rosenbergs. That is the quote unquote powerful people who help steer. They help steer the warfare and they help steer the culture in a way where they projected the negative effects of, you know, whatever was going on in our household. We got issues with our women, but they help promote that in the genre of hip hop by bankrolling and financing the nigga theme. We don't love these hoes. Fuck these bitches. Fuck bitches get money. All of these things that help this feminist agenda, this agenda where white men are pointing and say, look, them niggas don't love you anyway, because that's the skeeter that they giving them in the bars. That's the skeeter at the water cooler. Why you riding with them? They don't love you. Listen to the music. Look how they treat you and all of these other things. So I just want to shine a light and let our brothers know that there's a danger approaching us. All right? They are bringing in they're bringing in a matriarch, disguised matriarch with a patriarch engine running it with the Hillary Clinton administration, which is going to embolden our women to even furthermore move away from their men. So the spoils of war is your woman. It is not the men. We are in an act of war right now. You are losing a grip on your women. They are slowly turning on you. The LBGT, the whole thing with the LBGT and the eunuchs, which would be the gay men, which would tell, is basically saying to them, if these men, if we have an overt war with the black men, don't worry, lesbian black woman, don't worry, gay black man, there's still a seat at the table for you. We're getting at these heterosexual men. We want to get rid of them. We want to push another purge on them the same way that they did during the Inquisition, during slavery, during what took place as a result of why we see Mexicans, the Ecuadorians, because what happened? They killed the men, and then what did they do? They raped the women and gave them their culture. They raped the women and their progeny. They gave them their name, they gave them their religion, and they gave them their logic. So you got all of these people running around in Latin America thinking that they're white. You got all of these people in America thinking that they're part of this system, thinking that they're part of this European Western culture, because what happened? They were raped, they were pillaged, they were given the education, they were given the culture, and now we at war with each other. So I just wanted to break that down and to share that revelation with you, brother, and say to you, and say that Tommy Sotomayor, what he's doing is more detrimental than what we see, because he is creating an environment, he is creating a mind state that our women, that our sisters, that our mothers, that our daughters are saying to themselves, you know what, look at all of the numbers that that man has. Look at all the vitriol that he's spreading all around against us. Fuck these niggas. And we're losing our women as a result of that. So it is very important for the men who really love their women to begin to get on the front line and fight for them again. How do you feel about that, brother?
Well, that goes into something we was talking about earlier, whereas it would be very unmanly to sit here and see our women no longer appeal to the men of their race on account to the emotional inconsistencies of the man.
Yes.
As men, we owe it up to our women to demonstrate true manhood. We're not talking about making the most money. We're not talking about getting certain types of degrees. We're talking about the embodiment, the epitome of what being a man means and represents. That's what the women want, first and foremost. Because if that's not what our women wanted, she wouldn't have found herself conceiving the child of the deadbeat, who she thought reflected or demonstrated manhood in some capacity. So it's clear that our women are attracted to masculine energy from black men.
Would you say the alpha male prototype?
The alpha male prototype. And I basically understand the black man to have been broken spirited. He's been beaten up, and the straw that broke the camel's back is his belief in the lack of belief that his woman has for him. And now he's lashing out on her negatively. He's as abused, hurt, and undergoing as much of a traumatic experience from recent events in our history as the black woman. They just demonstrate it differently. And the way he's demonstrating it is in an all-out attack. The black man is demonstrating it in an all-out attack. You may say, well, the black woman is also in an all-out attack. Yes, but part of what I've learned about being a man was not lashing out at women like this, the way the men are doing. You understand what I'm saying? A big part of manhood, from what I learned, that I agree with, was being able to take certain abuse and not have to distribute similar abuse to the abuser, especially if it's a female. I learned as a
Facts.
man, we are supposed to have more understanding for females' emotions, not more understanding for a man's emotions when he demonstrates it like a female.
Facts.
So what we see are the men at loss for manhood, ultimately, at the end of the day. And we need a serious re-tuning or reprogramming, because ultimately it's going to be very difficult for us to succeed this race with strong black males if the women are disinterested in them because they don't believe in the concept no more. It is our responsibility to adapt and to adjust like Mayweather does in the ring when he recognizes a different fighting disposition. Our women have a different fighting disposition when it comes to the grievances they have with their man, and the black men have to learn to accept the fact that they are angry. Now, we may not want to use the word make amends, we may not want to use the word amends, but what we do want to suggest is a new program, a new conditioning, a new response, a new reaction. Because the old reaction that's recurring is only creating a greater rift amongst the man and the woman. And people say, why don't you put the onus on the woman to change? I'm a man, so it's easier for me to communicate with you, a black man. But why you say all those nice things to women? Because as a man, I take all that is true about a woman and I let her know that I see you. I recognize it. You feel me? Now, if a black man can see a black man put on some new shoes and be like, I see you, bro. I see you out there. Why can't he do that for a black woman? Why do black men have to be chastised for saying, I'm not going to join the hate club for black women and verbalize publicly my dissenting views about the few of you that empower others to create generalizations that's hard for y'all to escape from? No, I'm going to showcase, because of my agenda, I'm going to showcase all that is great about a black woman, because my agenda does not promote disunity amongst man and woman. My agenda does not promote the dissension that is created from the children in the aftermath of the man and the woman going through this gender-specific conflict. My agenda is not to denigrate the identity and the image of the black woman, so much so that not only does the man feel bad about her, but she feels bad about herself. My agenda is to uplift the black woman, because she has to raise her child with or without that black man. And in this society, unfortunately, the without that black man is more prevalent than the with the black man. So understanding this, our agenda has to cater to the specific interests and needs of our community, which is stronger black women and more responsible and disciplined black men. If my agenda was to destroy our community, then I will just say nothing but degrading things about black women. My agenda is to uplift the black woman, because an uplifted black woman has a certain level of patience for her black man and an understanding for our reflection of the diaspora. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, our shortcomings amongst each other is just that, a reflection of us living in our diaspora. We're Africans of the diaspora trying to find our identity, and we are at loss for a knowledge of self and kind. And in that comes the frustration that we wind up looking to point the blame at someone. And the black woman is right there in front of the black man, and the black man is right there in front of the black woman. We need to be properly educated about the social circumstances that we're subjected to. And in that understanding, we'll be able to start healing.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Rich, you had a question?
Only 9%.
So, Brother Polight, one thing you discussed with me when I asked you about how your interview at the Breakfast Club went, you told me the importance of giving props to black media. You mentioned black media several times. Talk to me about how important black media is and what it is that you do today, Brother Polight.
Black media is extremely important. In particular, your media and his media, Brother Sai's media. These are platforms that help people decide where the leaders are in the making. These platforms help to groom us as leaders. So when we do get to these major platforms, we're not fish out of water like many of the artists are who never was on a platform. No media training. We know the nuances. I know the nuances. I've said the things that I said, man, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I said the things that I thought made that were of great interest to me, and had to realize later that it was premature. Things that you thought were really good ideas until you watch it play back again and be like, damn. And then I've also bear witness to the success on y'all platforms. And then learning the little subtleties about our black media platforms, where there are things I never expected to go viral, and I'm like, that one went viral? I'm feeling this right here. Yeah. But we don't have a say over what go viral. That's another part of the magic. But understanding the time, understanding the people, the incentive behind it, really getting acclimated to, like I said, the nuances that make some videos more successful than others, or make some videos failures. It helps us to organize our thoughts and better be able to prepare us for those opportunities. I won't want to call it a greater opportunity, but significant opportunities that help us expand our brand or accelerate what we already have in the making. So I always have to accredit you brothers for that contribution, because there's no way I can conceive me being as prepared without practice, as in case of any other sport or any other skill that is demanded on hand for other people to witness. So that's why I feel the black media is so important, and that's why when I was on the Breakfast Club, I was stressing you guys' platforms, because at the end of the day, not only did you contribute to my preparation and molding as a speaker and understanding what it means to be recorded for one time and one time only, and you don't get no takebacks when it's major media. You know, we could call a brother Rich and say, yo, the violent homosexual line was too far to the homie. He wanted to be taken down. You know, that may not be at our leisure when we're dealing with major media. So with that, we've learned how to refine our ability to communicate with the masses the first time around only, the best of us. And that's very, very important, because the worst thing that can happen to you is to go before millions of people and speak to them and be like this excruciating watching yourself. Like, damn, why did I do that? So that's important. And to me, more importantly, above all of that, it's important to show where our roots are. As people start elevating in stature or in popularity, it's a social imperative that we recognize the people that help us to catalyze that experience. Because when we don't, it's a form of treason for me. I believe it's treasonous behavior to go on newer platforms that have access to even a newer or larger access to the demographic you already speak to, and a potentially new fan base. I think it's treasonous to not enlighten people the first couple of times, if not every time, especially if it's convenient, it doesn't come off redundant. I think it's necessary that we do our best to express to people the gratitude that we have for the platforms that paved the way.
Add on to that.
I'm gonna let you real for a second. I came back with the...
I just wanted to add on to what it is that you're saying, good brother, that's very honorable to pay homage, to, not only the platforms, but some of the people in the community that, like you said, that have assisted in the growth and development, and also the movement, because that's a telltale sign of what it is that you'll do on a larger scale. So we can't sell each other out when we get in front of larger audiences, act like we got there by ourselves or that we exist in a vacuum.
That's right. That's right.
We have to pay homage to the shoulders that we're standing on. We have to pay homage to the people who have opened up doors. We have to pay homage to our influences, only because when people are watching somebody of your greatness and your stature, and they're looking at, you know, imagine someone tuning into the Breakfast Club from Middle America that never heard of a brother Polight from anywhere. They want to follow that paper trail. They want to know, where did he come from? Is there others like him? You know, where could we get material from this brother prior to the material, you know, of being on a mainstream media outlet? So we have to exemplify community. We have to show the world and those of us who are following us and are watching us that when we get on these platforms, we're not going to exhibit the behaviors of selling out, or rather not just selling out, you know, acting like, you know what I mean? This is how Europeans and other people may act. You know what I mean? When they get places, they don't acknowledge where they came from. Like when they hopped out there with culture and education, they didn't give props to who taught them culture, education, science, mathematics, and things of that nature. If they did do that, they would not be able to stand up in front of our people as if they were the ones, the high and mighty, who just woke up like this. So, you know, honors to you, brother. Like I said earlier, we have to begin to celebrate each other in public, in front of the family, and say, yo, this is my brother. When I see him success, I feel a level of success. I feel like I've made it. I feel like, you know, everything that we did over the years to help push this man.
That's right. That's right.
Is paying off, you know what I mean? Because we don't do it with the intentions of a check at the end of it. We don't do it with the intentions of, you know, we do it with the intentions of seeing you succeed. That's the purpose. You know what I'm saying? So when Brother Rich puts me on, I know that he has his good intentions. At the end of the day, he wants to see me in my higher self. Now, if I let him down by coming forward on the camera or in public in my lower self, then I know that I've not only let him down, but I let down millions of people who just said, Brother Red, tap into your higher self and be the best version of yourself, not only on camera, but when the people are not looking. And if you don't do that, take constructive criticism like a man, you know what I mean? And get back out there and prove yourself worthy, and prove yourself that you've been, you know, that you are who you say that you are. So keep doing what you're doing. Many more doors are going to open up as a result of following certain rules and certain edicts that follow great men and great women in their growth and development in front of the people. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So keep it up.
So the mantra is, when I succeed, you succeed. And when you succeed, I succeed. And if we don't feel like that, if we don't feel there's any reciprocity, then either one or both of us are doing something wrong. Because there is no individual success if we're functioning as the network that we say that we really are. This is a conscious network. So I know when you in your light, or you interviewing someone of a status that will help pronounce who and what you are as far as your brand is concerned, I celebrate your success. I go, man, because the more attention you get, the more it reflects the type of people that you have indulged or shared an interest in. And the more likely people will find their way to me and what I do if you're successful, right? So your success is always my success in this community. If I pack the house out doing a lecture, that is your success because you're part of the community that drew these people out. So you're also looking at the manifestations of your work as well. It's not a personal success. It's not an exclusive success. It's a shared success. The larger our platforms get, when Rich went and hit his first 100,000 views, I celebrated like it was my success. I felt like we got 100,000 views. It's his platform, but it was our success. Subscribers, pardon me. When he got 100,000 subscribers, I felt like that was our success. I felt like we got 100,000 subscribers.
Yes, I
because that is something we contribute to in our own individual capacities, that as a whole we nourished and created the situation. He was the medium to which that platform even exists. He keeps it consistent. He's responsible for the maintenance and the representation.
Yes.
If he was to start misrepresenting, those 100,000 people would start looking at us crazy, because that's what they do. See, these conscious Negroes at it again. Look what Rich doing. So since it's like that, you ain't gonna make me appreciate the deception. You're not gonna have me appreciate his shortcomings and not appreciate or celebrate his arrival as my arrival. Because if he falls, you're gonna make all of us fall simultaneously. But when he succeeds, you want him to just have it by himself. So nah, I'm gonna also share his success, because you're gonna make sure you see to it that we share any of his shortcomings. You feel what I'm saying?
And it's very important. Shout out to all of the new media outlets and platforms that I see coming up. All right?
Don't
Do
sell
the
your
Knowledge
soul,
Radio. Hip Hop is Real.
Yeah, that's good.
All of them. If I forgot your names, I apologize. It's not for me being facetious. We're in the moment right now.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm speaking to you specifically, and what I'm saying is your encouragement is based off of the fact that you're watching everything. So when you see a brother Polight get on a national platform and he bigs up the media outlets who are working in tandem with him and support him, that is encouragement for not only you to keep it going and go harder, but you're like, you know what? The brothers who I focus on, I know when they make it to Big Boy's neighborhood, I mean, there's not much further that we can go. You know what I mean? The next step is Hollywood. There is an arrival taking place. That Black Star Liner has pulled up to the shore.
We here now.
We here now. So we are doing this to encourage our young brothers and sisters out there who are sitting down contemplating whether they're going to pick up a Canon and a microphone and get into the realms of not only new media, such a broad subject, conscious media, not gossip, not hip-hop. You know, there's so many people out here reporting what color panties Beyonce wore on her tour and all of these other things that mean nothing to the progression and the growth and development of a people who are under an oppressive regime and all kind of other things that are taking place. But responsible journalism, I salute you, and I'm saying that we need more of you, and that we're looking, we need brothers and sisters in Atlanta, we need brothers and sisters in LA, some of the major centers where consciousness is growing and developing.
And let me say this, and the reason why this is important, because you're going to find eventually some of us are not going to sell out. And what I mean by that is that we're going to come to the conclusion eventually that some of us are going to make it.
Yes.
And guess who we're going to be more exclusive to? To us.
Yes.
You feel me? As the identity gets established. Like when you look at a Jay-Z, he's created a situation around himself where he is one and the same as his brand. No one can cut him off from him ever existing, because he is his brand. The popcorn he eats is Jay-Z's popcorn. If he wants to have his own color, it'll be Jay-Z blue. That's when you know you somewhere. That's when you recognize your greatness, right? So what I'm saying is, with our brothers and sisters, where they go wrong is when they achieve, they don't come back. Yeah. Where they can have more control because they know this entity as opposed to that beast. They actually call the media, or refer to the media, the major media, as the beast.
The beast.
And they say, you gotta feed the beast in respect to the audience.
Yes.
Which intimates that you might have to do something compromising. What I'm saying is, if you have your humble beginning somewhere, why leave the platforms where you have your humble beginnings instead of bring back the success you got and say, well, you know what? If you want more of me, you got to catch me over here.
Yes.
And let the other guys work harder to get you, because that's what we should be doing, because then now we transfer the energy. Thank you for the opportunity, fam. Appreciate it. We over here though.
Okay.
You feel me? Well, we should not be afraid if people change the forecast to say, you know what, I'll turn it down this time around. Unless we can have these kind of mandates fulfilled. But for our own people, a lot of us disappear. Oh, I got my opportunity, I'm gone. You feel me? And that's where we destroy ourselves, because this is when the pilot is hot. We got it now. We got the working formula, consistency, and multiple media platforms to put out this information. Different personalities. Know the Ledge Media invokes something different from me than that of the likes of Brother Rich Media. Sonetta's Media provokes something out of us, right? That's different from other media. It's different energy. It's either invocation or provocation, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, something's changing. The fluids, the chemistry, the hormones, the enzymes. There's a different demographic catering to all y'all different channels. You know, this channel more for me is like metaphysics and hip hop.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this channel. Like when I'm on my metaphysics of hip hop type of energy, music, you know, I'm ready to kind of
Economics.
transcendental experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your read. My perception of Rich Channel is like, yo, if I want to get into some metaphysics,
Yes.
you know, of anything,
Of anything.
his channel extrapolates the metaphysics out of the things you didn't even think had metaphysics in the detail.
Very true.
You feel me? I don't go to Side Channel for that, but he has that catalog. It's there.
It's there.
But the energy around his channel is more contentious for the mind that's searching and looking for what may be right or wrong. His channel is more for discernment for me.
Fact.
You know, weighing in two different sides and being unapologetic about the side that you choose, okay, based on your own analysis or the definitive conclusion you arrive at on account of hearing both people present their ideas. And Know the Ledge comes off to me kind of like a composite of the two. And it's like y'all radio show seems like a very scholarly radio show. It just comes off like, you know what, when people don't know the Ledge, they feel like they may have to show out a little bit more. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to get the bomb dropped, you know you got to put it down. And you know the bombs exist. You know the machine guns exist. So you're not really trying to come into the Know the Ledge Media and have a regular conveyance that could be accepted and widely embraced on other platforms. When you get on Know the Ledge Radio, you like, I need for them to drop that motherfucking bomb.
Early.
So you already like, I'm turned up whenever I'm on their joint. I want the missiles out the silos. I want it to go down. And that's what I get from their channel. They got that other energy going on that just be hype. And it's like, it registers in people. Yeah, that was a bomb.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. It's like a moment of silence. He just dropped a crazy ass bar. Hold on. Let's get the crowd to repeat all the previous bars and lead up to the new one.
That's like the Don DeMarco.
You already know. So the energies, the creativity, the style, you know, people love Rich because it's questioning. They like, man, he's like one of the best questioners out there when it comes to this. They respect his discipline, you know, his business acumen, and his humility. He very rarely even shows his face. And the times you've seen it, he probably got caught out there because he's not even trying to make it about himself. He's making it about the people he's interviewing.
That's powerful.
So it's just different personalities
discipline.
per platform. And what it's doing for people such as myself is getting me to feel those different personalities, because no matter where I go, eventually I will be bumping into something similar. A different genre, but something similar, because I've been experiencing y'all brothers' platform so much with y'all different energies that I'm diversified in my portfolio as far as how I articulate and my ability to communicate.
Yes.
You know, some interviewers cut you off quicker. So you have to learn how to put your points in a shorter period of time in light of the fact that he's coming before you probably even finish your last thought.
Fact.
So it makes you put it together, which is good. Other interviewers, like, yo, let's let him elaborate and let the audience, let him exhaust the content so they could be fulfilled, and then we're gonna come behind that with another question, and let's see if we can just get him to exhaust the data. And then others are medium. So ultimately, these platforms are turning teachers into leaders,
That's powerful.
and ultimately making boys recognize the men that they are amongst. You know, you could think you're a teacher, and then now when you get the criticism, you see some people who knew, once you disagree with them, they do these videos, they cursing everybody out, they pissed off, they angry, F you, this, that, and the third, because they're not used to it. They want leadership without criticism. When we go through these platforms, we get quite the bit of criticism. No matter how positive, no matter how accurate, no matter how calculative your statements, you're going to get criticism that's non-associated to the actual content, and you're going to get criticism that is associated to the content. Nonetheless, you're going to get criticism, and you have to learn how to take it.
How to deal with it.
Show your face again after the criticism.
Facts.
Our media is off the chain. So when I went on the Breakfast Club, I was just in a state of mind like, man, I'm good money.
Shout out to Baba.
Definitely Baba TV is another excellent media platform. So we're prepared. I can't thank you brothers enough. And as we keep going to the top, we're going to be in a whole nother look. Consciousness is on the rise, and I'm proud to say that I played an integral role in the resurgence of consciousness being popularized before the host of people that was starting to deject it. When my children get older, and they're getting older now as we speak. Actually, my daughter just turned 10.
Yeah, happy birthday, my aunt. Salute.
I feel so great that they can watch this and know when people say, yo, you know who your daddy was? And they say, yeah, he played a pivotal role in this thing y'all calling
Facts.
the conscious community. Because trust me, I ain't go up there shitting on the conscious community. I was like number one, like I love the conscious community. You know, we got to get these celebs on the bill, you know, because we need that balance.
Yes.
You know, I made my jokes because we got to be able to joke about ourselves. But when I make my jokes about the conscious community, know that I'm joking about myself as well, because I am part of the conscious community and very proud of the conscious community. And like any other community, you have widows. You feel me?
Vagabonds. That's your
Vagabonds, yes. You have vagabonds, and your word, the knuckle draggers. You feel what I'm saying? The vagabonds and knuckle draggers are lurking in every community, some more than others.
Yeah.
But let it be known, it's not a community like the conscious community. And mark my words, people. Well, I don't even have to say mark my words. We popularized consciousness, and we all contributed to it through our vision. It wasn't no man exclusively. But we popularized this. They want it in the TV shows. They want it in the movies. Now we are the elite, being asked to come on the shows where the biggest stars get on. Now we are the elite. You feel what I'm saying? And now when you share the stage, it says you take the same presidents.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
If not more.
If not more. So if you could share the stage Jay-Z sat on, if you could share the stage that Rick Ross sits on, then family consciousness is on the rise. We should be celebrating.
Did they introduce Brother Polight as an athlete today?
Nah.
Did they introduce Brother Polight as an actor or a thespian?
Not at all.
Did they introduce Polight as, you know, somebody who's a good dancer? Like
Not at
Happy
all.
Feet? They presented Brother Polight as a leader
That's a fact.
of 44 million black people in America, and then 80 million in Brazil alone. Because we're talking about a global stage. We're speaking about, like you said, this is a platform where the upper echelon of what is known as the black magical, they call us black diamonds in America, right? So we live in a precarious time where they are asking who is the identifiable leader amongst you, not the rapper and not the actor. They already
Literally, that's one of the questions.
facts. They
Go
already
ahead.
copped it out. They copped it out and said
It's almost identical.
we have not been reared, we have not been groomed to be leaders in the weight that the world is on the shoulders of the quote or the black man right now.
So how did it happen? The question is, how did this happen? How do you got leaders? You were not groomed.
You were not groomed.
You feel me? Like, how the hell did people like you arise? That's like on the level. With some of the conversation after a while when I'm building, like, yo, where's leadership coming from? You feel what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing, but it came from us co-signing each other. And if enough people co-sign each other, it becomes our religion, our culture. If enough of us say Jesus is real,
then he's
next
real.
thing you know, people feel like they being healed and saved by the homie.
Facts.
We gotta know we real.
No doubt.
We gotta co-sign each other.
And I feel that the shoulders that we stand on, the people who invigorated us to pick up these microphones and to change the course of our lives, or rather to refine the course of our lives, when you were on that land in Georgia, you saw leadership.
That's a fact. Absolutely.
You were in a leadership role in another facet of your life that was grooming you for a bigger role.
Because we had a point of
which was your
reference.
Crip Superior.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
All forms of leadership.
Facts. So when I was a young child and I sat at the bare feet, because he didn't wear shoes in his spot, Dr. Sabi, and I saw him exemplify leadership, not only in his words, but in his action, because he was saving lives, I was like, damn, that's something that's very powerful. And on my journey through the underworld, through the nigga shit, through everything else, I always had that vision in my mind of a great man, but never knew how I would be able to get that. I didn't know, I had no clue whatsoever how I would even be able to get on the same boat as that man when I was in my darkness and whatnot. So it's all in our intention. I was at your first lecture in 2006 at the church in Brooklyn. Dr. Sabi, you had sweaty arms because you was nervous. You finished, you sold out your okra and your fried mushrooms. Y'all was smirking, y'all was happy. You and Amunet, I'm sure y'all had a bankroll, but you had accomplished something. And when I saw that look in your face of accomplishment and arrival, I was like, this man is being groomed to be another leader, if he knows it or not. Me and my brother had conversations about what he saw when he went to the bookstore and saw you teaching in your early years. So your will and your intention was already put forth in your demonstration from the gate. So we're talking about moving with that intention and moving with that will and being man enough and honest enough and being a brother and letting a man know when he's arrived. But not letting you feel comfortable in that position, saying, you got work to do, my nigga. But this is what we're here for, to help do the heavy lifting with you. And whatever heavy lifting that I may be doing, there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna need your assistance and Rich assistance and Sinetta's assistance. Because think about it, I just said earlier, 44 million in America who are looking for leadership. You are representing that right now. So we know that you can't do it by yourself. It would almost be treasonous if we were to put you out there and say, yeah, carry that shit by yourself. And then when you get there, I'm gonna hit you up and I'll be there. That's how these niggas are out here. That's the mentality of a lot of these people, that they'll sit back and just watch you from the sidelines, do all of the heavy lifting, all of your trials and tribulations, failing forward and all of these things. And then when you succeed, oh, that nigga was on the Breakfast Club, let me hit him up. That's not how we do. That's dangerous. You know what I mean? That is dangerous. So keep doing what you do. Salute to all of your success. Salute to all of your failure. Because you learn from that. We all learn. I learned from watching some of my brothers fail forward, and for my failures and my shortcomings, hopefully that it is a lesson for other brothers and sisters to learn from the lessons that our lives are able to teach brothers and sisters. We are not perfect. We did not come with wings attached. We didn't say that we was the next coming of the Mach D and whatnot.
Thanks.
We let you know we come from a very dark place. We come from a place where we were flirting with death through many years of our lives. My mother couldn't sleep mama pill for many years of our lives. You understand what I'm saying? We have rap sheets the size of some of this brother's books. But that doesn't stop the fact that we love our people, we love our family, we love everything. We love the shoulders that we stand on. We love our elders, we love our master teachers, and we are willing to put our everything on the line. We not willing, we put everything on the line already for this thing right here called consciousness. And like Brother Polight said, we did everything in our powers and we'll do more to make this a household, put this in every household that needs it. All right? Not popularize it so we could run around and, you know, just act like one of these other Negroes that are out here that did nothing with their celebrity, did nothing with the popularization of hip-hop, actually help put more people in the grave, in the jail cell with your powers. That's not what we're here to do, all right? So salute for everything that you do. Salute to your security. Salute to the New Covenant members. Salute to the people who stand there, who also put their lives on the line. They're not acknowledged the way that they should be acknowledged, because I know when these brothers put on their crowns and they put on their uniforms, they don't know. They're like, yo, is this the day that we get tested? Is this the day that we have to really turn up? So their sacrifice and what they do are very honorable. The fact that when we watch you on Fox, when we watch your debates, and when we watch your lectures, we're not just watching you, we watching the force, the strength that is around you, and that says something about you. That a man will be willing to put it all on the line just to ride for your message. So we just letting you know that it's not being done in a vacuum, and it's not being done where people are not recognizing the effects of consciousness in our new leaders, our thought leaders, you know what I mean, our voices, and all of the people who are out here holding this thing up. And for anybody else that gets on the Breakfast Club, pay homage and salute the people who are paving the way, all right? That are doing this shit every day without your permission, okay? They were doing it before you came on the scene. That's a fact, all right? We have to do that more. There are names that need to be mentioned. African tradition says that we are immortalized even when we become ancestors by those who come after us, who keep our names in our mouth. Dr. Deborah Blair, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, all of the great ones, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Bobby Hemmett, Hakeem Bey, Taj Tariq Bey, Malachi Z. York. All of these names have to be brought out and mentioned for the new students. We have millions of new students that are out there that need to know that we stand on the shoulders. Chancellor Williams. I could go on for days. Dr. Sabi. There's so many names that need to be put out there for our people to celebrate and to admonish and to go and study. And we love them all. Love and light. Brother Red Pill, Know the Ledge, Blue Pill, KT the Arshagri, Mama Pill, salute to all of y'all. AA Rashid, all right? All of the great ones who are out here doing what has to be done. Salute.
Peace, family. This Brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figured since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.
We there with this flow this summer. My editorials, equatorial, epic stories, yo. Majestic Scorpios, dressed in Giorgio for memorial. Catch us in them cartoons in Cancun. Off we go, let the trumpets blow. When my comfort zone got uncomfortable, I hit the road for like a month or so, spitting flows of a written codes, hitting hoes in bungalows, flipping those of medicinal interlude with chickens who think sniffing glue is mystical.